Hi Chelsea and team. Because my art process is not very common, I thought it'd be fun to invite you into my studio and actually show you how I create a piece of art. So this little video is going to be really organic, just like you were here visiting my studio. In the background, there's a variety of experiments and ideas, current projects that I'm working on, things that I'm trying to figure out how to do. The blue piece that you see there is some of the experiments that I'm doing on figuring out how to get really cool winter mountain scenes to kind of get a snow look. This particular area is actually where I burn. Some of my favorite tools are rocks, all different sizes and shapes. Obviously lighters to light things off because I actually explode the gunpowder. And this is combinations of different kinds of gunpowders. I use a lot of different kinds of powder depending on what kind of techniques I'm using. And what you see here that are in colors are red, green, blue, and purple smoke bombs mixed with different kinds of powders. That's how I actually get the colors in the pieces of art that I do. To give you an idea of how I create a piece of art, I am going to try to do an under 5-minute demonstration on how I would create a sky. This is a couple different kinds of gunpowder that I'm scattering across a piece of heavy watercolor paper. It's going to be the base for creating the sky. This will just be one of the first burns. Typically a piece will require anywhere from a half a dozen to as many as over 100 burns if it's a big piece and it's got a lot of detail in it. What I'm adding now is a combination of a couple different kinds of gunpowder mixed with blue smoke bombs to get the blue from the smoke bombs to burn in as the gunpowder burns. Because I want some really cool bright spots in this particular sky, and hopefully I don't run out of my 5 minutes, I'm going to also grab a little bit of just blue smoke bomb guts. Now this is if you were to take a blue smoke bomb apart. This is the powder that you would get out of the middle of it. Because I want this sky to be stormy, I'm going to add a couple other different kinds of gunpowder with it that I know are going to give it kind of a look that I'm going for. And then another kind of gunpowder. Because I want it to have a little bit of a look of maybe rain or hail or something like that, I'm also going to add these little rocks to keep some of the places white in this, because when you work with gunpowder, the idea is always how do you keep the white areas white, because everything wants to flash burn when the powder explodes between the two pieces of paper. And just for a little bit of finishing, yet another kind of gunpowder to give it a little boost across the paper. One more, a little bit of touch out here on the far end, on the leading edge. And maybe just for fun, since it's a stormy sky, we'll throw just a little bit of red into the back side of this where the storm is really getting active. The next thing that happens is the whole thing gets covered up with another piece of paper, because I actually want it to explode in between the two pieces of paper. I'm going to weight it down with some boards so that it keeps more of the air out of it. I want it to travel across this way, so I'm going to leave this area open so it's basically got an exhaust area. It can move that direction because I don't want it to burn too far down into the foreground. If I were going to finish this piece and put a foreground in it, I'm going to put some rocks here to keep the burn from going too far down. But I think I want to let it travel this direction a little bit. So that little bit of an air gap should do that. So now let's light it. If I can get the lighter, air vent, and just for fun, turn the lights off so you can see how it looks when it explodes underneath there. It's always so fun. And then uncovering it, it's always fun to see what happens because sometimes unexpected things happen. Get it brushed off. And then brush off the top piece. Top pieces and bottom pieces always look quite different. But there's our sky. So that's the very basics of how I create a piece of art. Sometimes pieces take anywhere from 20 to over 100 burns to get a final piece done. I look forward to the opportunity of maybe working with you guys to create a piece for your holiday card and your offices. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you're ever near Hamilton, please give me a call and stop in to visit the studio.